People make me mad. You know, I'm gonna say, Jacko, I had a very smart moment. So in Canada, you're allocated 3 hours during your workday to go get your shot.
Yeah.
So what I did, smarty pants McGee that I can be, is I planned it. I planned it for me. So I get off at 3 o'clock every day. So I planned my shot for 12:55. 45 minutes or like 40 minutes away from my workshop. So I got back at noon. I got 3 hours paid. I went and did my shot. I was too far away to go back to work, so I went home for the rest of the day and still got 3 hours paid. And then I took tomorrow off, which is the Friday, so I got a long weekend.
Wow, dude.
Yeah. So
Good to see you're into your work.
yeah. You know, they'll be fine with me without for a day. Yeah, it'll be okay.
What exactly is it that you do?
Cable guy.
Ah, okay.
Literally do cable. Yeah. Go up on the lines and in high rises in downtown Vancouver. And yeah, I'm all over the place where I'm at. I'm literally like downtown one day, then I'm out in the farmlands the next. Get to see a lot of it.
Well, it's good to have some variety, I guess.
Yeah. So Pork Chops just messaged me. I'm sure you just saw that. Be sure to shout out AE Daltonian's podcast, The Slipstream. No, we don't do that. We can't shout that out.
Why not? Is it not reputable?
No, we can't. We can't shout out AE Daltonian's podcast, The Slipstream, which you can catch on YouTube. I think he's on episode 5 or 6 now.
Not.
No, we can't shout that out. Sorry, Pork Chops. We just really can't do that.
You can't shout out something that has special guests every week, like Hotspot and whoever else.
Yeah, no, exactly that. We can't. We really can't be shouting stuff out like that, because if you shout out AE Daltonian's, you know, the Slipstream podcast, and if you're interested on not viewing it, I'm going to send a link into the Twitch chat there.
But that would be plugging it, which we of course can't do.
No, we can't do it. No, exactly.
Even mentioning AL Daltonian is, we can't do it, but we've done it anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, they're 5 episodes in on YouTube. But yeah, we'd love to help them out, but unfortunately we can't. So, but if you don't want to go check it out, then be sure to click the link in the Twitch chat on screen. So, but I mean, but still, we can't be shouting it out. It is what it is. Nothing against AE. He's a great guy. You know, you know that too, Jacko. He's a good guy.
Of course.
I've had no problems with him in the past. He puts in his right foot forward towards the league and making it better.
Well, the problem with him is how difficult it is to say his name, but that's about it.
Yeah, but yeah, exactly that. But we can't be picking favorites. So sorry, AE. Have a good race tonight, but we can't be shouting out your podcast, The Slipstream, on YouTube there. So don't go check that out. Actually, I can't say don't go check it out. But anywho, we're in Sochi. How you doing today, Jacko? How you feeling, man?
Pretty good. You know, voice was going a bit there, but I had a hot chocolate, so I should be fine for this session.
There you go. Yeah, when I get
How
to
about
work,
yourself, Crash?
not too bad. That reminds me, because we got some like hot chocolate mix for our. I like to call bad coffee sludge. You know, if it's bad coffee, I'll call it sludge. So I like get a nice cup of the morning sludge, and then I mix it. I cut it with a good hefty spoon of hot chocolate mix to make it into a poor man's mocha in the morning. From time to time.
It doesn't even sound that bad.
It's okay. It's honestly not bad. No.
Well, you wouldn't do it if it was bad. So.
No, yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah, exactly that. Exactly. I wouldn't do it if it's like, this tastes worse. No, I honestly treat myself with it though, because I don't have it every day that I go in for work. Because I like to show up early, so like I'll show up like a half hour early and then just like chill. Oh, we're getting, supposedly Cake Thomas is saying we're getting heavy rain to start the day here. Okay. So, they're to start the race, so that's going to be
Well, that'll
interesting.
be something to look forward to. We should expect everyone to be qualifying on softs in that case. Soy Loco seems to have missed that, although he's still in the pits, so he might notice and change onto the softs from the mediums, but everyone else currently on softs. We should mention, of course, that Soy Loco is a replacement for Random Sirius this week in the Racing Point.
And it seems like we're missing Kenny and JC Blackley, unfortunately, here. So a Alfa Romeo as well as a Williams missing out. But let me quickly get through my story before I get completely distracted. So, with my morning sludge, I also have that powdered cream crap. You know that? You know that stuff? Like the Coffee Mate? I don't know if you guys have it there, but that's what it's called here. It's called Coffee Mate. It looks like Scabney might get slowed up by the... Yeah, do you know what I'm talking about, though? It's like powdered cream.
Yeah.
We call it artery clogger. Because that's what it'll do. Yeah. And my boss, he'll like dump a good tablespoon of that in, and then 3 cubes of sugar, and then he's like, "Oh, that's good coffee." He's like, "Is that even coffee anymore?" Oh God, I don't. Whatever. Are you a coffee man, Jacko?
Afraid not.
No.
Not at this stage of my life, at least. No. If I really need something hot, I'll go for a hot chocolate. But otherwise, not even that. You know, just have some juice and water.
Maybe
try. Don't drink myself, unfortunately, for party goers. But you know, it works out for me.
Okay. Yeah. Completely fair. I have pork chops as the guy not to drink as well. Jinnit to win it, and Scavney going foul. Jinnit to win it. Uh-oh.
Oh dear.
Looks like the next one
Don't
possible
project on the man.
No shit, eh? But next one possible to set a time is Yolmir. Both Jinnit as well as Scavney invalidated their time, so Yolmir, surprisingly enough, sets a purple sector 2. Being the only one to properly complete sector 2.
Back after last week, of course, on Yolmir.
Very true.
It says he's got the best tyre fitted. Sorry, this tyre fitted is the soft, but clearly on my screen he has yellow banded Pirellis. So, not sure what Codemasters are doing there with this leaderboard, but that is kind of odd. Either way, he sets his lap time first of the session at 32.5.
And then it did change to medium.
Yeah, it just changed as he crossed the line. That was quite strange.
So who do we got? I believe that's Hash. Is next over as he enters sector 3 here. No, I guess I can tease this. But so our stat brought up a little while ago. And oh, Nikki actually loses a little bit to cut myself off. Gets a little piece of the wall. Actually, we'll get Mystic Joker's time as well. We'll wait for a little bit bigger of a low before I go into that. But anyway, take it away, Jacko. I'll wait for a better time.
Well, I just wanted to say I saw something quite amusing at the end of Hash's lap, in that he rounded the last corner, just tapped the bollard and took it with him for the last few meters of the lap. So he had a passenger there, and unfortunately may have slowed him up a little bit as Matt Rosie goes to the top, just shading out Mystic's lap time with a 1:30.4.
Now, is it confirmed that it actually does slow you down? Because I've taken those things out quite a bit, and
not necessarily. I've had it in an older Codemasters game actually destroy my car, a bollard.
Oh.
But also, sometimes it just makes no difference whatsoever. But yeah, you can feel it sometimes. Just the actual impact just slows you down a little bit.
See, now this is where a little bit of the language barrier comes in with us, because was it bollard for you? It's a delineator for us.
Oh, a delineator works too, but that could be a white line.
Yolmir crashed out around turn 2. We got to jump onto Jinnit there quickly.
Yep, here comes Jin, and you can see the McLaren off to the left there. I'd say he's missed the braking zone and decided to go around the bollard / delineator.
No, I'd say bollard, whatever you're comfortable with.
You know, sometimes when you try to do that, you clip the wall. I think we saw that happen last season in real life with, was it Grosjean and Sainz?
Yeah, it was Sainz. Sainz did it.
Which, that took Grosjean out, didn't it, from memory?
My memory's not that good.
Either way. So similar thing perhaps happened to Yol there. Can't say for certain though.
Man, we're currently setting a purple sector 1. I'm not sure if that's in-game glitch or if it's truly purple. But Mayo has shown some real improvement from what we were witnessing in Season 2. He's kind of now turned into somewhat of a race favorite, if you can agree with that, Jacko.
Yeah, certainly someone I would expect to see on the podium a few more times this season. Started off strongly, of course, with the couple of podiums and a pole position in Bahrain Short.
He's going to be next over the line here, just entering Sector 3.
Both times you've said the next car over the line is going to be someone in Sector 3. The two Mercedes have actually been before him. Can you see the Mercedes on the map? Or?
No, I can, but the Mercedes both set a time and they're coming into the pit.
Okay, fair enough.
And at that time, the Mercedes were on their out lap.
Invalid lap. Yeah, okay.
And Miami are actually going a little bit of a surprising 6th place.
We should mention Tiak in his first Division 1 race, I believe, for Haas, filling in. And, yeah, this guy I've raced before in the Friday series last season. Had an epic battle at Bahrain Short. So, I know he's clean, at least from my experience, and a quick driver. So perhaps we might see him with a surprise dark horse on the podium.
Cake Thomas finishing up the final turn. Took a little bit of a weird apex on that one, and that was going to cost him quite time going into. Who do we have next? Soyo Locos. Yep, he's coming around the final couple turns here. Couple of hard, quick 90-degree turns to the right, and over the line for 8th place goes Soyo Loco. Smith Pell shortly to follow, and then he goes in to 11th. And here we go, Super Dinas into the pit. Alright, so I think I've got a little bit of time quickly to finish off what I brought up before, kind of a teaser, if you will. But Stat brought up a idea of doing a mental health awareness race, and to kind of dedicate one of our streams to mental health awareness. And it kind of got dropped a little bit there, but it's kind of been brought back up, and the potential date is looking at Baku with a raffle of a potential prize of MidWest F1 merch, with all the proceeds going to a mental health awareness charity. So that is in the works, and we'll hopefully have a little bit more information coming by the weekend. But stay tuned for that, as we want to kind of do some good while we got this league and all this community here. So hopefully we can work towards that. Nikki over the line in 13th on some softs. Here we go. Enrique's next to set a time, coming around turn 17 through 18, taking a fairly decent apex, and he's all the way back down into 17th again. A little bit surprising. T-Ash starting a hot lap. Helg. Okay, he's out there. Jinnit starting a hot lap as well. Is there any surprises for you so far off the start of this qualifying here, Jacko?
Well, not really. We've become slightly accustomed to McLaren having poor qualifying this season. Obviously, in massive contrast to last season, which is surprising with Yolmir as part of their squad, and Enrique we know is a quality driver. But, you know, we've seen this a few times already this season, and I'd say the only relative surprise maybe that Mayo's not higher than 7th. Other than that, it looks, to me at least, to be relatively normal.
Yeah, I think you're bang on here. I guess what we're really seeing is the pace that T-Ash has. in a way, as we're kind of seeing what we'd expect in a qualifying as well, he's able to kind of put himself into that position as well. So it just goes to show what kind of pace we got sitting down in the lower leagues still.
I think one of the fascinating things this season is that the two teams that were battling for the Constructors' Championship in Season 2 are now 8th and 9th in the standings, that being McLaren and Ferrari, so big turnaround in that regard. Williams, of course, without a podium last season, at the top.
Jinnit does improve, but not enough to leap over Mystic there. I think he took
Less
off...
than a tenth covering the top 3, though, so that's very close and a good prospect for the race to have such close pace, although some of these drivers may have a wet setup on, you don't know.
Very true. Mystic is nearly 6/10 down on his time. So he's... Or you say up, I say down. Right? Yeah.
Yes, well, if you watch, IRL commentary, they'll say up when the time says negative, because it's negative, as in less than their time. And there you go, he's into the 29s, that's a commanding lap. I believe potentially quicker than last season, I'll have to check that. Actually, my video from last season may not tell me if they didn't qualify. Okay, it does. In fact, pole position last season was Honda with a 29.813. So, if Mystic wants the bragging rights, he needs to shave off just under a tenth.
Yeah. Wow. I don't know if he has any another fresh set of tires saved up here, but Soyo Loco invalidates coming around turn 5. It's a little bit too much of that curve.
Depends what these drivers chose. Did they choose to bring the softer choice of compounds? If so, he should have 3 available, which would leave him with another set, and then another one will be given to him for the race. So I'd say he probably would have one.
Now help me out
you
here.
Want to keep those for the race.
Do you are you able to see the weather before you choose your compounds?
No.
No. So you choose
But
your compounds
track,
and then
I
tell
would
you
have
the
taken
weather.
softer, and I imagine most drivers would have taken softer, because the preferred tyres in a dry race here would be softs and mediums. You wouldn't want to touch the hards unless you had a lap 1 incident. Yeah, and if you had to make 2 pit stops, you'd go for 2 sets of softs. So softer is the no-brainer at this track, I believe.
I gotcha. Okay.
Elsewhere, that would have been a real issue, for sure.
So Cake is actually getting a pretty good tow from his teammate Seaberry, and then Seaberry actually pulls off. He's towing him all the way out of turn 10. Let's see if that'll help Cake launch up into the top 10.
It's been a lot of good teamwork this season.
Yeah, that's a
By
very
many
good
teams.
point. We've seen that quite a bit. And Cake just edges out his time, but not by enough. As well as Seaberry can improve on his.
I'm watching Matt Rosie just started his lap. He really hugs that long left-handed apex and just invalidates the lap. I wonder if he'll have enough fuel to go around again with recharged batteries and set another lap. But if he has to pit, then that's session over for the Renault driver.
Yesterday, I was actually quite a few times. Mystic was actually hard hugging. Smith Pell launches up into 7th. Really good qualifying performance there, improving around 6/10 on his initial lap. Who's next over? Is that Helg? I think. Unless Helg is invalidated, so he's saving up the juice and he's going to send it around. Yeah, once more for him. And Yash, Ninas are just starting a lap. And Enrique's 3/10 up. And loses some time in the final turn. Does improve 2 positions, I believe, into 15th.
So I think you'll be able to tell, as Helg invalidates his lap, which drivers have racing line on, because at that long left-hander, people will be taking it really wide if they have the racing line on, as that's what it suggests. But the best line, I believe, is definitely hugging it, as Matt Rosie did, as you saw. I think it was Mystic you said do yesterday.
Yeah.
Perhaps not as much in the F2 cars, because they understeer a bit more. But for certain in the F1 cars, you really want to go right next to the curb, not necessarily on it, but definitely hug it.
So I think the Red Bulls actually, they came back around and then cake-toed C. Barry through the second DRS.
Worked really well for C. Barry. That's surely the best qualifying we've seen from him in a while. He remains there. P5.
Unfortunately, T-Ash is invalidated. I'm not sure. He might have enough fuel to go around once more. He's going to be able to come over the line. Helg has to come into the pit. He must be out.
Oh, Mystic is on another lap. He's 0.068 up through the first sector. Clinical driving, leaving very little on the exit there. Let's see if he can improve on his lap and improve on the best lap we saw last season in qualifying, although it doesn't pick up the apex onto the back straight. That could be key here. Is he going to get a tow from the car in front? Maybe a distant tow from the Red Bull, it looks like, of C. Barry. C. Barry's well out of the way. Into the braking zone, he's only 11 thousandths up now, so he lost a bit of time on his own lap in the second sector. Now, tough sector here. Apexes it quite nicely, doesn't get any oversteer. Looks tidy. 2 corners to go for the Williams driver.
Oh, huge from Scavney, sorry. Jumps up into 5th.
Nice. Over the line, it is an improvement and it's a lap record for Mystic, eclipsing Honda's time from last season. So he's just trying to erase all of Honda's records, it would seem. As this race would have him equal Honda's consecutive wins record, if he manages to win, of course. Definitely not a foregone conclusion. But I'm guessing that would be Mystic's aim.
He's set to do it as of right now. A quarter of a second quicker. Hash comes over the line, just down on his time, but not enough. Yeah. Sui at one moment did jump up into 10th, but then with Scavney launching all the way into 5th, he got pushed back out of the top 10. But
so big surprise of Mayo being that low, 10th position.
Yeah, very true.
Well over a second down on pole position. That's quite surprising to me.
And as well as there's only one team that has 2 drivers in the top 10, and that being AlphaTauri. I believe sitting at 8th and 9th. So good to have 2 drivers in the top 10, but you like I mean, you can't complain having 2 in the top 10, but you'd like to see them up a little bit higher. But
so we didn't notice that Matt did improve his time. Obviously not enough, but it's a respectable gap back to Matt Rosie, 3/10 from Mystic. Then we've got Jin, 8/10 back. That's massive gap, but of course, you know, third place will be a great place to start the race and on the run down towards that first complex. Tiak on his debut in P4, very impressive. Then we've got Scavney, C. Barry with a great qualifying from his perspective. Hash, Helg, Smith, Mayo, Soy Loco, also on debut. Bacon, Supaninas, Cake Thomas, Enrique, Nicky, and Yolmir with that early retirement at the back of the grid. McLaren again suffering in qualifying. Really tough to witness from our perspective. 16th and 18th, not ideal.
Yeah, very true. Now we did get notice that there was going to be a wet race here, so how wet will it be? I'm not sure. All they did was just say, or no, heavy rain to start actually.
Yeah,
so,
I've got intel that says full wet.
Yeah.
So that'll be exciting.
Ooh,
and look at it, it's pouring.
Yeah. It's really coming down. This is gonna be a different one here. Have we had a wet race this year? Can you reach back into that memory bank and remember anything?
I don't recall having one.
No, nor do I.
I don't think so.
I think this might be Season 3 Div 1 first.
Would have loved this last season, starting last at this Grand Prix.
Yeah.
Bit of rain could have thrown a real wrench into it.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely not, because we went Canada and there was no rain there.
No Bahrain.
Bahrain,
Makes no sense.
Monaco, Silverstone, yeah, for sure. So Russia, week 5 is the first week for Division 1 to get some rain, so we'll have to see how these guys adapt. But off the top of your head, do you know if anyone is better in the wet?
Well, I know some people who are worse in the wet, but I'm not going to mention that. Don't want to curse anybody.
Right.
I think we have very solid drivers, and from my understanding, I think this will benefit Mystic. He's good in all conditions, and the wet's no exception. Maybe off the line he might struggle, because I know he's he doesn't run traction control, and some of these guys may, so that may hurt him. But other than that, I don't think this will change the order too much, honestly.
Yeah, it's all depending on that start, right? It's you really got to feather it.
If people went for the full wet setup.
This happened once last night, but no, Jinnit did send me an extra one, but you might as well just send me one as well. No, not right now.
Okay. I was wondering whether I should be commentating, but then again, you'll get back in before the formation lap finishes anyway.
Yeah.
Wait, no, there's no formation lap.
Huh?
Yeah,
okay.
they're racing. There's no formation lap.
Okay, take it away. Go ahead. They can hear it. They can hear us.
Mystic gets a beautiful launch. In fact, he's completely unchallenged to the first kink. Jin was challenging Matt, but it looks like Matt picked up the draft. I was gonna say no collisions early on, but there was definitely some contact, some debris flying up in the air. Don't think anyone's out though, so it must have been minimal damage. Helg has fallen down a lot, unless the leaderboard is playing tricks on me. Kate Thomas also gone backwards. Nikki with a great start, in fact. Mayama making 2 positions in the early stages. A lot of wide driving there. And Nikki already with a 3-second penalty. Cake has one too, but I think that may have been for contact. Difficult to see what's happening because there's so much spray. I'll bring up the.
So I've got the position changes right now. Mayomir has jumped up 3. Soya Loco has jumped up 2, and Scavney's trying to jump ahead of Hash, and Hash is doing a good job of defending, but Scavney's going to try and send it around the outside line, and there's a wheel-to-wheel. Ooh, and they do a really good job of giving enough room. Hash still holds on to the position as it stands, has the inside line lined up into turn 13. Actually, sorry, the outside line, my apologies. Breaks a little bit deeper, a little bit of contact there, as you can see the pit stop strategy. And Scavney is able to pull away with that position. Mystic has already nearly worked a second ahead of Matt Rosie. Jinnit is already a second behind of Matt Rosie, and T-Ash is already a second and a half behind Jinnit. And then Hash is already over a second and a half behind T-Ash. So the top 5 are really spread out early on here. We'll have to see if that continues, and this midfield battle is really up for grabs. It's a 2 racing points.
It looks like the damage that I witnessed was Smith Pell, both end plates missing from the AlphaTaurians. That team made awful starts, down 7 and 8 positions respectively. Of course, we commented they were both in the top 10. The only team, and now they're 15th and 17th, with one in the pits. Kate Thomas also in the pits. Looks like a front wing change for him as well, and a penalty to be served.
Ouch. The 2 racing points are actually kind of battling it out a little bit. It looks like Soya Loco was able to get the position on Mayomir. And Scavney has gone off, or he didn't go all the way off, but he did go extremely wide around turn.
Definitely got damage though.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, right end plate is missing on that Ferrari.
Yeah.
His teammate though, at 6 positions, currently the hard charger. Oh, big drift from Nicky, that was well saved.
Oh my. So yeah, Scavney is really struggling for traction.
Scavney though, yeah, he might let his teammate through here as well. Oh.
Ooh, he tries to race out Sui, but I think Kwani, he has to understand. I think he's just going to let him go. No, he's going to try and send it around the outside. But that...
No, I think he was letting him through.
Okay, he was.
Enrique also benefiting from that. Great start from that McLaren, up 5. Actually, both McLarens up 5 positions. Positive for them. Soy Loco also up 5 positions. Great start from that debutant. Yolmir actually does have damage to the right side of his wing as well. So a lot of damage in the early stages of this race. Certainly you'd want to drag that out as long as possible. In the wet, maybe it doesn't affect you that much if it's minimal damage.
Was that Yolmir you said?
Scavney. No, Yolmir.
Yolmir, okay, sorry. So Scavney does come into the pit. Mayo now is working on his team. He's got the inside line coming around turn 1. And they're going to drag... Actually, no, Mayo Mir's got the full car ahead. It's tough to tell on that angle, but Soyo Loco slots in behind in 8th. Mayo's going to try and pull away from his teammate now. Impossible Bacon and Yolmir battling deeper down into the pack. And with Impossible Bacon, I think he got the position back on Yolmir. Still holding on to 12th place. Trying to catch the other McLaren of Enrique. And it's actually Helg getting the move done on Yolmir, as well as Super Ninas, so maybe Yolmir might be struggling a little bit here. Does he have damage? Yeah, so Yolmir's actually got some heavy... Yolmir's got heavy wing damage to his left.
This is the driver I told you.
No, but it's not just end plate, it's the whole bloody wing.
Yeah.
Is...
He had the right side gone, now the left side is shattered completely.
Oh, okay, that's what I'm seeing, was the left side, so I'm not sure where he picked up that contact. I wasn't able to pick it up.
Very heavy. So if we look back up front, it's actually Matt Rosie closing down a bit of that gap onto Mystic. As I say that, it now bulges out to 1.2, having been 0.9. But DRS range doesn't really matter at this stage because it's not going to be active during wet conditions. So we're not looking for a 1 second gap, we're just looking for any gaps that are minimising, let's say. And Matt Rosie keeping it respectable to Mystic. Of course, if you're right up behind someone in these conditions, it's very difficult to see.
Yes.
So perhaps that's kind of the range that you are ideally behind, unless you're really challenging on their gearbox. Jin falling back, but of course his plan probably at this stage will be to avoid any warnings. Just wait for any potential safety cars or changeable conditions and see if he can catch back up. But at this stage, best to just stay warning free, I'd say.
So Sui was putting a little bit of pressure on Soyo Loco coming around turn 1, but Soyo does well. And is now slowly pulling away coming around turn 3. Maybe Sui not having the same confidence.
Front, actually. See Barry there, went a little bit wide. Not too wide though. And there's a penalty for Soy. The tiniest bit wide. So heartbreaking to see how wide you have to go sometimes, or how not wide.
Yeah, there's... I think back to a penalty that we had to give Enrique for him crossing over the pit line in Monaco. He was trying to get the penalty back, but like he was like microscopically over. Oh, there we go. There's some good battling.
And talking of microscopic distances, that was the gap between the two cars there. As around the outside went Soy Loco and C Barry, and it was a great move. Really well done there.
And now Sui's coming around the inside line.
Yeah, there comes the Renault, and another minimal gap, but no contact. It didn't look like, and Sui up to P8. Oh, very close on the brakes, but no contact once again. Good stuff from these boys. And now Nicky's right behind C Barry. Nicky driving through the field, fearlessly. Really well done. Fastest laps, both being set by Mystic and Matt. So Matt catching very small margins once again. This time in terms of the clock. But yeah, exciting stuff. Many battles down the field.
Yeah, and we actually just missed one with Impossible Bacon. He was able to get the position on Enrique going up into 11th place. That was around the same area of turn 12.
Oh, very good. And of course those guys are on the back of this train that we were already watching with Seabarry and Nicky. So midfield all very close together. One mistake could see you drop, 5 positions potentially.
Sui was looking at the inside line of turn 3, but once again it looks like Soyo Loco's just got the the throttle on right and just knows the amount of traction that he needs to come around turn 3. Once again, opening up the gap between himself and Sui, coming on that big swooping left-hander.
Oh, Nicky looking down the inside, backs out of it. Ooh, ooh. I thought that was going to be a collision there, but he got on the brakes well. Ooh, we didn't notice that the gap between Matt and Mystic and Matt has actually expanded quite significantly, so potentially a mistake from Matt.
Yeah, I'd imagine
Hopefully
so.
No damage. I'll have a quick look. The wing looks intact, so perhaps just a wide moment. But yeah, Matt looking for his first podium. Of course, we've seen his pace has been quite good. Qualified well at Monaco. Had unfortunate races though in his 2 previous entries in Division 1. But now, P2, albeit for now. Hopefully I don't curse him. P2 would be obviously his best result so far.
Mystic setting the fastest lap there as well. Enrique taking a little bit of a sloppy apex coming into turn 13. Kind of opened it up for Helg, as well as Helg's right on the gearbox. So Super Nunez had to look around the outside of turn 60, but nothing going there. Has to pick a different area to try and get the move done. But once again, this battle for the midfield here between Seabury, Nicky, and now Impossible Bacon has done a good job of working his way up and kind of had a quiet race, taking 2 positions, but not losing anything. So he's going to try and work himself into the top 10. It's actually Sui and Soyo Loco once again really close, and we'll see again if Soyo Loco can pull away from Sui coming around this left-hander, and it looks like he is once again.
Someone that we haven't shouted out much so far is Tiak running in P4. Maybe a little bit lonely, but really good stuff, because you know those guys in front of him are all class drivers, and he's holding on. Potentially one of them makes an error, he's on the podium.
Somewhat of a Lando Norris-esque P4.
Yeah, very much so.
He's just kind of, no one's really near him in front of him. No one's really near him behind him. He's just P4. That's it.
Are you suggesting that Mercedes are not going to be able to get Jin's wheel off?
Oh no.
Oh no, Jin, please.
Oh god.
Oh, we got yellow flags.
That's Smith Pell. He spun out at turn 4.
Oh, no.
I don't see any damage to the left side. He might have just got a little heavy on the throttle, and I think he's actually got he's got his wing fully intact, so he did just lose it, but did enough to save it from the wall.
Now Mystic setting another consecutive fastest lap. I wonder if either the track's improving or he's just found a lot of confidence and he's able to just continue improving his own lap speed. But I would venture to say that the track may be drying at this stage. We might see inters soon.
Hash kind of misses his braking point coming around 18 and goes a little bit deep through the apex, and that brings Maomir right alongside of him and a little bit of contact. Maomir kind of sticking his nose into a very tight gap, but well done to keep it steady, and now he's going to launch the inside line coming around turn 3. Hash is closing it off and is able to still hold on to 5th place, but Maomir's right draped all over him, and once again going deep through an apex, that being of turn 4, and whoa.
Yep, borderline stuff, but I think fair in the long run. Obviously no damage is the main takeaway of that, but Mayo putting a lot of pressure on the back of that Alfa Romeo. Both of them, of course, on the podium last week.
Excuse me, Nicky going off and dropping back into 14th. That's not what you want to see. That was around turn 5 as well.
Left end plate damage as well for the Ferrari. Really unfortunate. The team were looking good at one stage, but 14th and 16th is not where you want to see the defending champions.
Now, importantly, I guess kind of a side mission, I guess. Helg has actually found himself only 4 positions back of where he initially started after losing and dropping all the way down into 18th after lap 1. So he's slowly but surely been holding some steady pace and just doing enough to try and get himself back into the top 10. And now Enrique's kind of opening the door a little bit. Helg can try and get his nose in there. Does shoot the gap, a little bit of contact. Helg leaving room, and or sorry, Enrique leaving room for Helg, but Helg just can't get enough of the car in there, and is still going to sit back in 12th.
I've just observed Smith Pell in the wall again, deposited further front wing, and unfortunately, he's going to have to hope that AlphaTauri have another spare, because he's going to need a third nose cone this race. Yeah, Mystic expanding the gap further to Matt. Matt relatively by himself at this stage.
Oh, here we go.
5 seconds back of that.
Mayomir's got the overtake on Hash. Once again, Hash sends it deep and goes for a little bit of a switch back there, and a contact between both drivers, and Hash does well to save it. But Mayomir gets fifth place.
Wild.
Oh,
further
and
contact again.
Yeah, misses the braking point. It's gonna be.
It might be very light damage. I can't see it.
No,
sometimes you get that light green.
Okay, yeah, no end plate gone.
Okay. Well, yeah, these guys 10 seconds back of Tiak, so yeah, this further reinforces those top 4 have absolutely left at the front of the pack.
Now I think Mayomir was being held up by Hash for quite a bit, so, and as well as Hash was doing his best to hold off Mayomir. To be fair to those two drivers, maybe if they had the clean air that T-Ash has, they might be able to stay a little bit closer.
We've got the blowtorch being applied to Seabury by Bacon here. A lot of pressure, but Bacon also has left end plate damage. Everyone with left end plate damage, it would seem, in this race.
What'd be the popular wall there to get that?
I'm not even sure.
Left end plate.
Where are you going to... Perhaps it would be on other drivers. That's my
I'm thinking
guess.
Maybe the wall around 16.
I mean, it seems unlikely, but perhaps. I was going to guess that's people trying to go down the inside of, because it's predominantly right-handers and they may have made contact with the rear.
Oh wow, Impossible Bacon. Oh, I should pull that up. Never had the my telemetry in lap delta, but whatever. Impossible going down the inside line of Seabury. Seabury giving him the room and actually shoots back through turn 2 and gets alongside him, but it's good. It's Impossible Bacon who's able to pull his. Yeah, very well done by Impossible and clean driving from Seabury.
Oh no, Helg actually pits. That's for another front wing. Oh my goodness, AlphaTauri must have gone through 6 front wings at this point.
Keep them coming, boys.
Oh,
it's going to be a long Grand Prix.
AlphaTauri and Ferrari sharing the last.
So Loco, sorry, he's into the wall after turn 5, that is.
Oh dear.
Oh, one of the racing points. Both of them were looking so well. Soya Loco moving all the way up into 8th, I think. Actually, no, he was 7th at one point.
Was that a 5-point turn from the racing point man? Avoided hitting the wall a second time at least. Does he have damage there?
Oh, those are
the rears.
Piping hot. Lovely little drift.
So it actually looks like the wings are damaged, but the tyres will be, as we've seen, very hot and kind of difficult to manage for the next few laps.
The wing being undamaged is very lucky, as when I posted up on his POV, he was kissing the wall.
Well, that means Sui is free, in quite a lot of free air, so we'll see if his pace can improve. He's 12 seconds back of Hash. But as we say that, he enters the pits, and that might be for Inters because I do not see any damage.
Super Ninas drifting a little bit around turn 16. Like you said, Sui into the pit, Super Ninas as well. I'll have to keep an eye on what they do.
Let's have a look. Yeah, green stripes, I can see it. So is this potentially a gamble, or is this going to pay off? We'll have to watch the exact gaps when these boys come out of the pits. I'm guessing it's going to be the same for Super. Yep, Inters for him as well. So both of them were strategic because neither of them had to fit a new front wing.
So quite a few drivers are actually coming into the pit for Inters. As Yolmir throws some on. Nicky's already got some on, so Nicky is actually going to move back up a little bit here. Nicky's back into 12th after spinning out earlier on. The closest gap on track is actually with the 2 cars coming out of the pit.
So it looks like Inters are correct at this stage because Nicky is escaping cake behind him relatively quickly. We can also watch Yolmir.
Helg loses around turn 3 and ends up hitting the wall on those
and
wets.
And AlphaTauri are going to need a 7th front wing.
Oh no, just stop the count. Stop the count, man.
Mystic's into the pits, first of the front runners, and he's not followed by the rest of the top 4. So AlphaTauri now in last and second last after being the only team with 2 cars in the top 10 in qualifying. Not ideal.
No.
Mystic emerges from the pits in P5 just about, with Mayo right in front. We'll see how quickly he can dispatch of a fellow pole sitter in this season.
So all these drivers are coming into the pit. Sorry, did you say how much of a time difference you're noticing from tire to tire?
Well, Nicky is absolutely destroying the gap from Kate Thomas. It was 1.5 a lap ago. Now it's 3.6, so definitely faster for the intermediates. And Mystic is all over the back of Mayo. In fact, going around the outside, I'd say. Yep, he's made that move already.
Makes a fairly routine overtake. So these guys that are left on the wets should pit fairly quickly.
Unless it's going to dry really quickly and you can go straight from wets to dries, but I mean that would be...
Yeah, very true.
Not normal. I think I've done that once in 10 years of league racing. Well, it's worked once, let's say. Oh, we've got a McLaren off. Is that Enrique? Yeah, it's Enrique recovering at the exit of turn 3. Oh, Nicky leaves the session. No, we can't have that.
You gotta... He was getting a little bit of patchy internet.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Matt Rosie now, current race leader, is in the pit. We'll have to see where he ends up. Janet stays out, and so does Tiash. Mailmir's into the pit. I'll have to see if Hash, with his undercut, will be able to get back ahead of him. He's coming into sector 3 here, around turn 15 into 16. We'll jump on board with Mayo. He's getting those tires put on right now. Hash is finishing up 17. Will he be... Yeah, I think he's going to be able to... Oh, Mailmir's just comes ahead.
So I think the reason that Hash hasn't made that work is that he had to replace his wing. Is that what you would guess in that? Yeah.
I'd imagine so, because that's very close. But how much is usually a wing change? Add around 4 seconds?
Yeah, or 5 to 7, I'd say.
Yeah, that's what okay, so...
Oh, they're both all over the road.
Oh my god,
Mayo makes a slightly worse error there. As Yolmir now with the fastest lap from the Inters.
So you can kind of take a guesstimate, as I hate using that word, in about like a 6-second pace advantage from intermediates to wets.
Well, I think that was over the 2 laps, so maybe half that. But yeah, definitely an advantage. Well, we saw the fastest lap lowered by 3.5 seconds there, so that must be roughly what it is.
Okay. Stage. Yes, that's a good point.
As Hash goes a bit wide there, again heartbreakingly, minuscule margins wide, and picks up a 3-second penalty. Into the pits for the 2 at the front, which only leaves Kate Thomas out on track on wets. Probably a bit late from Jin and Tiak, so they'll fall back from Matt and Mystic. The question is, will they become under threat from Mayo and Hash? Probably not, actually, because they're already leaving the pits. But if I was Tiak, a lap earlier in the pits would have been really nice to get onto that podium. Nicky's back in the session, that's good. In fact, he hasn't lost any positions, but certainly lost some time.
Super Nias getting very close to see Barry here.
Mayo and Tiak has been lowered by 5 seconds over that pitting phase, but still the same order maintained, and it's quite a large gap to overcome.
Super really tried to dive down through 18, but Seaberry didn't give him any room, rightfully so, and Seaberry was able to hold on to 9th. Ninas nearly got into a little bit of spin there, but did well to save it. Now he's going to try and catch back up to Super Ninas. Cake finally into the pit. 10 laps deep on those wets. He's going to throw on some fresh intermediates, and we'll see what he can do from that point on. Not sure if Scavney does overtake him, so he'll come back out in 15th place.
Nicky. Connection issues for the Ferrari, man. This is not what we want to see.
No, not at all.
Another invite.
Mystic once again setting a fastest lap. 10 seconds separates him and Matt Rosie. Yulmir going around the outside line on the AI of Nicky and getting the job done.
BK Yulmir now sitting with that most positions gained point with about halfway through the race though, so still plenty of things can change.
Super Ninas was just be able to get Seaberry around turn 10 there, so he pushes up into the 9th place. Has that gap between Maomir and T-Ash been shrinking at all?
It has, but not at the speed that Mayo probably needs.
Oh, yellow flag is... Oh no, it's another AlphaTauri.
Yeah, definitely stop the count now. Helg in the wall.
Oh.
And I can see bits of end plate there on the track that are not attached to his car, which is not favourable.
No, not one bit. Not one bit.
Oh. That was just a rejoin by Helg and deemed illegal by the game 10 seconds onto his race time. I lost all intervals, by the way, so that's
yeah,
useless.
I did as well. It kind of takes a little bit for them to all come back up. Oh, yellow through sector 1 and 2. Looked like for a moment that was one of the racing points. Guess that was Soyo Loco. Let's see, I see his wing intact. Looks like Smith, Pell, or Helg is letting cars.
It's Helg.
It is, okay.
Ah man, this is heartbreaking for Nicky. He was running in the top 10, and this third disconnection in, maybe 5 to 10 minutes. It's not going well.
No.
I'll send him a final invite, but I think at this stage it's becoming a bit of a formality.
Yeah, I think you're right. Once again, Helg pulls off to let Soyo Loco through. Soyo only down one position on track, was looking a lot better.
I think we're going to see Helg retire here in the responsible way. Lap down on 13th. What are we going to see here? Is this a pit stop or... Yeah.
Yeah.
So first retirement of the night, the AlphaTauri Honda of Helg. His teammate not doing much better, unfortunately, in 17th, but still could be points for the team. He can finish the race.
Yeah, I'll bring up the Constructors' Championship standings quickly. So AlphaTauri's still sitting in 5th, so not too bad. It's going to hurt them. Red Bull should overtake them, as well as potentially Renault, with Matt Rosie getting a good finish. So not what you want to see from the AlphaTauri boys today, but still early on in the season, and a lot of points are up for grabs. Williams still leading the way with 270 points, somewhat closely followed behind by the Racing Point team with 246. Yulmir trying to get past Seaberry around the outside line, or sorry, that's the inside line of turn 11. Turns into the outside of turn 12, but he's already got the move done. into the top 10 goes Yolmir. 8 positions gained from the initial start. He's having some really solid race pace here. He seems to be fairly comfortable in the rain. Maybe he just had a really good setup for the wet weather and not a very good one for the dry.
Yeah, that's entirely possible. As Nicky, yeah, he's gone again, and I think that's probably time to call it.
Yeah.
So kind of lonely races in the top. Well, there's big gaps everywhere at the moment, really.
Yeah. It's kind of
Seaback
sometimes
maybe 2 seconds off. Soyloco less than a second behind Nicky, but that's it. Just, you know, the car's not there, so not really any battles currently.
with the rain. I've kind of noticed that even if one guy like driver A is slightly quicker than driver B, without the help of DRS, he's just able to kind of pull away from him and open up that gap, where with DRS the slightly slower driver will be able to kind of just stay close enough. And I'm not saying like slightly as in like, I'm saying like slightly as in like a tenth a lap or whatever. It's just able to pull away from him. That's just from what I've noticed from my time, is that wet weather races usually have a lot bigger gaps between the drivers. But like you said
I
earlier,
think it depends on the track, but
yeah,
for sure that is quite likely. Obviously the DRS does allow you to stay with people a little bit quicker, especially around this track where they're sort of equally spaced halfway around the track, 2 different DRS zones, like Austria as well. But yeah, tough to follow. And once you're in the order that, you know, of pace, that's probably going to be it. Soyloco makes the move on the disconnected Nicky. Although Nicky is back, I don't know if he's controlling the car yet though.
He's surely making Soyloco work for it. Soyo getting into the top 12. Let's take a quick peek at the penalties. Soyo with 9, Nicky actually with 8, Seaberry's hitting with 3, Hash sitting with a solid 9. Before my intervals got knocked away, it looked like Sui was back to 13 seconds, so he's got to try and close 4 seconds in 10 laps for him to jump up into 6th.
And Hash has to really hope no safety car gets deployed, because that will destroy him completely.
Very good point, yeah.
But if we're looking at constructors, teams that are being successful, obviously Williams at the front, it's perfect for them, except for the fact that they only have 1 car in the race. We've got Mercedes and Haas, both cars in the top 9, and that's the only teams that apply. Oh, sorry, actually, Renault as well. So after only 1 team having both cars in the top 10 in qualifying, we've got 3 in the race, and not the same team. Nicky's all over the place with lag on my screen.
Yeah, I'm not sure. He's just this is a first for him. I've never noticed a lack of connection issue coming on his end. Oh, what the hell? Yolmir's able to get super Ninas. We didn't know that move was coming, as our intervals are gone. But Yolmir now continuing his solid race pace and moves up into 9th place. He's got to try and open a 3-second gap between himself and Ninas, and Ninas getting a little bit too heavy on the throttle come around 16 is going to help that case, as Yolmir is able to open up the gap. It looks to be around, I'm going to say 7/10 of a second. Oh no, it's just above a second. That was just a flat guess, but Yolmir's actually pulling away on the straight as well, so Ninas is going to be in tough here, but you just got to, like I said, stay within 3 seconds. Penalty to Smith Pell doesn't really change much of the session, to be quite frank.
Yeah. Well, okay, I've got my gaps back now. So
Yeah.
all I can really see is that Scabney's closing on his teammate, but of course, as we know, Nicky is not connected. So, foregone conclusion on that one. In fact, Nicky's messaging me now in the Discord. He just said, I just want the points.
Yeah, he's got to tough it out. He's somewhat in a He's not in relegation danger quite yet, but he is in the bottom half of the league table.
No, that would be heartbreak. We can't see Nicky fall out of the league.
No.
Fall out of the division, sorry.
Very true. So I guess I'll actually bring that up. This is race 5. So we're over a quarter of the way, or actually a third of the way through the season now. No, over a quarter of the way through the season.
Well, we're
now.
exactly a third. Because
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Migrating hosts. Oh
Whoa.
dear.
I guess Helg left the session.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that would have been ideal because that could have destroyed the session in past games. But hopefully everything remains correct.
Seems to be okay. Seems to be good on my end. Scavney was able to get the overtake done on Nicky. But yeah, currently sitting in 20th and then 18th. 2 drivers are tied, Super Nines and Enrique with 35, and Scavney sitting with 34. So these drivers are going to start knowing that every point is extremely important now. Impossible Bacon sitting 14 points clear of relegation in 17th, as well as our Season 1 champion in Kenny sitting with 50 points, only 15 points clear. So a big day from Super Ninas, Enrique, or Scavney can see either one of those 2 drivers drop down into relegation.
Nicky, come on, man. He's just going to keep reconnecting, apparently, to try and get his points. So hopefully the stewards don't say they didn't finish. They shouldn't, I wouldn't imagine. But I'm seeing a drying line crash. Do you think we're going to see slick tyres before the end of the race?
Who can risk it? I mean,
anyone can risk it.
Yeah, I know, but like, who can afford to risk it? If anyone, I'd say Smith Pell.
Well, let's see. Perhaps if you're Tiak, you want to go for some glory on your debut. No points really at risk. You're going to lose.
I don't think this is his debut because he's got 61 points. Oh no, he got the points moved from Division 2.
Oh, has he been promoted? Is this permanent promotion?
He must have.
Oh, that's good. I look forward to seeing him up front in future races. I thought he was just substituting today.
No, he did get promoted.
Yeah, that is fantastic because this guy we know is quality.
Oh, Cam seat. Oh.
Yeah, we haven't seen Cam in a long time though. Hopefully he's alright.
Yeah, it's that injury, but yeah, it looks like he's been forced into giving up his Division 1 seat.
Last time we saw Cam, of course, he was 3rd in the Spanish Grand Prix last season, I believe.
Yeah, that's rough. Oh man, I didn't even... Hopefully we can see Cam back at some point.
So yeah, this will be the 9th race without Cam, I believe.
Wow. So he's an OG that's kind of been forced via injury to kind of give up his seat, but hopefully he'll be given access back to it once he's back and healthy. But yeah, I believe it was his hand that he's been dealing with.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Hasn't been nice to him.
No, I've been aware he's been entered in a few other leagues as well that I'm aware of, or at least one other league, and hasn't been able to race there either. So yeah, definitely not ideal. We know he's a quick driver. Could have been a championship contender.
Very true. And to be completely honest, he's one of the few that can compete with Mystic week in and week out, as well as yourself, of course. But you're with me in the booth, so that can't happen anymore.
As I say, I wanted the best teammate, and I've got the best teammate.
Yeah, there you go.
Nicky now lapped by Mystic. So Mystic is lapped 14th position. Although that seems... Oh no, that seems right. Yeah, that's right.
Whatever happened to Jay Chase too? What am I missing here?
Jay Chase decided to retire. He had some things to do in real life, including move house, so I think that took priority.
Oh, that's stupid.
Probably stressed him out as well.
I'm just kidding. Oh no. Jacko.
He says I didn't, but I think I reckon, I reckon I put a lot of pressure on him.
You drove the guy nuts. You push him. Oh no, we've got a Merc off. And that's Jinnit actually. Oh no, so TS
on the podium, he just slips through.
Oh my god, okay.
So
Jin looks like he has to. Yeah, he's got some heavy damage to the left
Mayo's
wing.
Only a few seconds back too.
Okay, so we've got some real battles coming up here.
We're not going to see Jin a consecutive week with an incident late in the race to take him off the podium, are we?
Man, I don't know what this guy has done to get the luck that he has, but it is some of the worst that I've ever seen.
Did he see a phantom Kenny on the track like he did last week?
Yeah, right. Oh my.
So he's on the inters, so he can't even benefit from a compound change to the slicks.
Yeah.
Very unfortunate, but out of the pits he comes. Will he maintain this position? Oh, Sweet will be close, but probably Jin will remain in P6, so at least there's that. Oh, that was pretty close.
Wow, that was that Enrique or yeah, it was Enrique.
Yeah, Enrique 17th position, so he'll be letting Jin back through there, but that was certainly very close.
That was extremely tight.
Closer than Jin would have liked. But Sui is approaching, as is Bacon, and I thought Bacon had a broken wing at one stage, but is he still with that damage or not?
No, he's from the angle that I caught, he seems to be all good.
So he must have taken it all the way to the pit stop and replaced it there, which I would say is very smart, because it didn't drop him back at all. That's exactly what I would have done in his situation.
So 3 seconds of penalties as well is what he sits with, so nothing terrible, and all the drivers behind him are sitting with penalties, so he's fairly safe of not dropping position, but hopefully he can force Sui into some sort of mistake here and then potentially make it just a race on track position, but as well he has to keep his nose clean, as one more penalty is going to push him back down into 9th with Yomir jumping ahead of him, as well as another shout out to Yomir jumping up 9 positions off the start. Has really found a good groove in this race. Just trying to work into the top 8 as well. Can just see Impossible Bacon just not tee far ahead of him, sitting at around 1.5 seconds is that gap, so he's got potential as well to get up in the top 9 or top 8 and possibly 7th place, but so we'll see. I have to see how this one plays out.
So I'm just looking at the Division 1 Discord, and Nicky is quite apoplectic at the moment.
Yeah.
He just rejoined then off my invite, but previously he'd been joining off Helg's invites. Oh, sorry, off Helg in the PSN, but because Helg is no longer in the session, he's unable to do that. So perhaps we might inform the hosts that it might be best if they don't leave in future. But obviously not a normal situation to be trying to reconnect so many times.
Yeah.
So Nicky currently in 14th. I mean, he'd want to get the points for that. That is worth 12 points, so nothing minimal right there if he can stay 14th. So hopefully he can achieve that. Still not getting intervals on my screen, unfortunately.
Yeah, it wipes it away, then you get them all back once the drivers come over the racing or the starting line.
That's really stupid.
It's really annoying. Yeah, I know. Scavney coming into the pit in 15th place.
DRS enabled. I can still see rain. Amusingly, only when I spectate Jin, I see a lot of rain. Has he got his own personal rain cloud, perhaps?
So now, Matt Rosie. How long of is a pit stop here?
Too long. There's only 3 laps left when these guys come in around. So perhaps you want to pit for the fastest lap if you're not going to drop a position. These guys are going to start setting fastest laps regardless because the track is drier. We can see Jin, Sui, Bacon, Yol all in the pits. Bacon's going to stack. I would not have pitted in that scenario. That's quite unfortunate. But yeah, we're going to see fastest laps from someone in this pack, you'd imagine.
I'm thinking, is
Mystic,
that gap?
I don't know what the gap from Mystic to Matt is, but if Matt has it within a pit stop, I don't think you'd risk it if you're Mystic.
But I'm thinking Matt to T-Ash.
Do you have any idea what that gap is, though? I can't see it.
I've got 22.5.
Well, then, yeah, it's worth pitting for him.
Yeah, we'll have to see. He's about to come. Doesn't look like, no, he's just going to stay out. See, in cases like that, that's where a crew chief comes in handy, or a principal.
So the gap between Mystic and Matt was 12 seconds. Mystic was right to stay out, I believe, with 3 laps left. But Matt could have risked that.
Oh, 100%.
Mayo's actually coming in from P4. Looked like TX stayed out in front of him, yes.
So he's going to take the
Let's
chance
see what
of...
Hash does.
Yeah.
So Hash will overtake, I believe.
Yeah.
Just the 1 place loss for Mayo, though. Hash has a penalty. Hash has multiple penalties, and Hash actually pits.
So maybe him as
So will we see? Let's see what happens with Mayo and Tiak. That could be interesting, but the gap is so large at this stage. He was already behind prior to the pit stop, and it's going to be about 25 seconds, I think. 26 maybe even, so that's a tough ask. 3 laps only.
But there is 0 rain and 0 water on the track now.
Tiak's already in sector 2, and only just through the first complex there goes Mayo.
They're actually going to come in high five here on the track map as they high five each other. Tiak coming through turn 8 and Mayomir coming around turn 3. We'll have to see. He's really got to start chewing away at every turn, which he is, to be fair. Now, where are you really going to notice the speed difference? Is it around the turns or on the straight?
Oh, the turns.
Yeah.
Oh, Mystic and Matt pit. Interesting. With 2 laps to go. What does Tiak do? Well, Tiak's in a no man's land, so...
I'm surprised that Matt pit. I would have just stayed out and taken the risk.
So Tiak is... Oh, right behind Matt. Not going to be a position change there.
No. But it looks like Mayo took off 7 seconds from that lap. Man, I don't know, but this... Mamir's got quite a bit of ERS saved up as well. Tiak has already fallen 3 seconds off. Nikki, man, I don't even know what to say as he's in chat right now. Jacko, anything to say to Nikki?
I mean, bad luck. Hopefully the points are awarded. What else can you do? Nikki certainly tried everything to be in the session. I don't think we can blame him for that. So I'll send another invite just so he can finish the race if he wants to.
Okay.
Yeah, just unfortunate. But Smith Pell now takes 15th to add insult to injury.
So Mailmir's on pace to take another 7 seconds away on this lap. This turn-heavy 3rd sector. It could actually get fairly close, as Tiak is only 2 turns ahead of Mailmir now. Are you watching this? I'm just staying on board with Mailmir here as he enters his final lap.
Yeah, the gap is decreasing significantly, but I tell you what,
I think he's going to do it.
Tail.
No, I think he's going to do it because he took 7 seconds off of Tiak in 2 straight laps, and now the gap sat at 7.5 when he came around the final turn.
Yeah, it depends. Which tyre has suffered the most? The softs only have, the best laps at the start of their stint, but of course the Inters are not designed to be on a dry track, so
No, he's
Yeah, in fact,
only
there's
no
traffic in front.
Tiak's only one corner ahead now. Mayomir's got him.
Heartbreak for Tiak, looking for his first podium. Should have pitted Tiak.
He took the risk, but it seems to be a move that's very inevitable at this point. Actually, you know what? I'm not even going to say it because that's such commentator's curse.
That's DRS. Yeah, it's done. There it is. Mayo with a really fighting drive to improve by 7 positions.
Yeah, after a subpar qualifying to his standards, for sure.
Yolmir is still with the most positions gained at 11, but we've missed it. Mystics crossed the line. There you have it, 5 in a row this season, 6 in a row, counting the finale of last season, equaling Honda's record. Matt Rosie with his first podium in the division, P2, well done to him. And we've got a yellow flag, what's that for? It's Smith Pell. In fact, Nicky regains that 15th, 14th now, as... Wait, how? Hayes must have had more penalties? Wait a second. Nicky's still going on my screen. But they're all lapped. I'm so confused.
Is he a lap ahead of Cake?
I didn't think so, but Seabarry still on the inches, overtaken by Soy Loco in a similar fashion to Soy Loco's teammate overtaking for P3. Tiak, Jin, Hash all across the line, as well as Yols and Swee. Smith Pell leaves the session as well. He's actually finished the race. Bacon crosses the line to finish 9th. Superinas will be next across the line to a top 10 for Haas. Both Haas's in the top 10, as well as both Renaults and both Mercedes.
Is Nicky actually in his car?
I don't know, but the car's still going, and I thought it was a lap down, so...
It's kind of lagging a little bit, so it makes me think
Cake
he
may protest this. There may be a glitch going on here. Nicky actually catching up to Mystic's car. Oh, this will feel nice. He passes Mystic. Mystic, of course, finished the race.
You know, and to be completely... Actually, you know what? Nicky might be trying to go for a fastest lap if it is actually him in the car. But I was just going to say,
true.
I mean, we have the rule of the 90% finish. You might as well just, like, smack into Mystic and then just kill that car. But yeah, so Nicky comes over the line once again. He's going to try and set another lap.
Yeah, so we've got a glitch going on here. I
whatever.
actually think that Nicky was 15th behind Cake, but we'll have to get that confirmed.
He's gonna argue. No, I finished 14th. You can.
This is where it just keeps going up the leaderboard.
Yeah, yeah. He's gonna podium.
Wins the race.
Yeah. Oh god. All right. So.
I think this is AI controlled because look, the car's not going past Seabury.
Yeah, I think you're right. Manomir says he's down for the interview. I invited Matt Rosie, Mystic Joker, and as well as the Yolmir, our artist charger, for the evening. Yeah,
that sounds good. Didn't actually realise how close it was between 6th and 7th. Hash just shading out Yolmir. Of course, Hash had some penalties, and that was about a 10th of a second between them for 6th and 7th.
Yolmir getting 11th positions in the end. Maomir with a very, very respectable 7, getting into the podium from starting in 10th. So, very well done. Everyone's just leaving the session, as no one wants to watch the AI of Nicky finish up the race.
Well, it's stopped at 1 second. You can see time remaining.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think impressive drives by several drivers here, Tiak included. Obviously, unfortunate of him to miss out on the podium on debut, but still fantastic showing by him. Yolmir, of course, most positions gained. Some impressive drives down the field to regain positions lost early on, including Scavney. But Matt Rosie, of course, first podium for him, and Mayo up 7 places, which is very hard to do in the top 10.
I wonder how many laps he'd actually complete Nicky's AI. I mean, to be honest, we can actually just leave at any point. Oh, supposing Pork's got a D2 podium. Actually, that's a good idea. Pork, you want to send in what the D2 podium was? Look at the Division 3 podium as well as the Division 4 podium. Oh, your dead text message has already sent it in. should I save the Div 4 podium? Do you like when I do it in between the interviews?
Up to you, Crash. I will let you know though that you sound really far away, so people might be struggling to hear you right now.
Okay. That better?
Okay, that's way better. Yeah, that's way better.
Sometimes when I'm doing stuff, I just turn the mic away from my mouth.
Ah, okay.
I guess that must have been it. Alright, so can you send invites to Yolmir, or Mailmir, Mystic, and Matt Rosie, if we don't already have them in?
Okay.
Congratulations once again to the podium. Mystic Joker picking up, I believe what you said, 6th straight win in Division 1, 5th straight in Season 3. Starting off the season with blistering pace and somewhat unmatchable pace. Congratulations to Matt Rosie collecting a podium here. And is that his first in the league?
Not in the league, but in the division, yeah.
In Division 1, yeah, I believe that is his first in Division 1, so congratulations to him as well. And Mayamir once again on the podium, so good job to those three. Then continuing down the order, Heartbreak from Tiash starting 4th, finishing 4th. Jinnit as well starting 3rd, finishing 5th. Hash finishing 6th. Yolmir with the solid hardest charger going into 7th. Sui 8th. Impossible Bacon 9th. Super Ninas 10th. And then to the back we see Scavney going from 5th to 11th. Not the race he was hoping for. Seaberry, Soyo Loco, Nikki, Cake, Smith Pell, Enrique, and the DNF to Helg. Not his day.
Mystic, Mayo, and Scavney keeping it clean as well with no penalties. So congratulations to those three on that.
Alright. Just let me know when we got everyone into the chat here. No thanks, I'm sick. I can't really talk. Plus my accent, I don't think it's gonna work. Yolmir is claiming that he's sick.
He's claiming that he's sick.
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't believe him?
I don't believe him for a second. I mean, can you think of anyone else you want to bring in?
I mean, Tiak might be a good shout. Bacon made a few positions.
You know, I honestly wonder if Pork Chops will join. I've got a question for him. Pork, will you join the party? Let's see. But anyway, we'll start the interviews. I'll work on getting us a 4th. If not Pork, maybe someone else. But I guess we'll start with our race winner, that being Mystic Joker. 6 in a row in Division 1, 5 in a row to start Season 1. I guess, or did you slam the 5-pack before this race, or were you just lying to me?
No, you know what, man? I'll do a 10 next time.
Okay. Oh wow! I'll hold you to it. I better not see you in this interview next week. Then
you're just gonna see me DNF like lap 1.
Instantly. Oh god! But I mean, so how much of a do you have a setup that will kind of allow you to get a good qualifying in dry and then compete hard in the race, or you just kind of sell out hard into the wet race?
No, I was using my dry setup, but I changed up the wings just a little bit to, you know, obviously battle against the wet conditions. But yeah, I mean it felt pretty good, honestly.
Yeah, it looked pretty good. Matt Rosie was kind of was staying in the ballpark of you, but other than that, you were someone in a race of your own, just kind of having to worry about the blue flags ahead of you. So we were kind of curious on why you felt the need to pit so late in the race. Did you feel like your gap was big enough for you able to get a free pit stop, or were you worried at all of Matt Rosie maybe staying out and testing those intermediates, or was the track just not any bit of an option for that?
The track was drying up very quickly. I mean, the guys that were coming out of the pits as I was passing them by were immediately, you know, getting on through, and You know, it could have been one of those things where I start to struggle, make a mistake. Yeah, and then also Matt possibly staying out, you know, and gambling. The thought of staying out definitely crossed my mind, and just doing it. But I also wanted to try to go for fastest lap.
There you go. Yeah.
Fortunately, I had a really bad sector too on the final lap that I did, which pretty much cost me that. But I mean, one hell of a lap there for fastest lap by Matt. So, yeah.
Yeah, very well done. Anything from you there, Jacko?
No, I mean, I think it's the same thing as previous weeks. Another big congratulations to Mystic. Dominating performance, and I think one more win will take you clear of Honda's record. You're now equal 6 in a row, so I'm guessing that's your aim. But if that 10-pack does go down, things will be interesting.
What's the next track?
Spa.
I don't know. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting
To be fair,
to do.
you have time to down one on the Camel Straight.
Yeah.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah, I'll just do that every time.
There, hey, you'll only have to drink 4 then probably. You just crash out.
But, it was a pretty fun race. The wet conditions were really tough. At the start, I felt really out of my my element there, and it took me a few laps to kind of get everything kind of dialed in, and into the rhythm. Props to the rest of the guys on the podium as well. That's what Mayomir's 3rd podium now this season, so solid stuff.
Yeah,
man.
you
Very
got to
solid
watch out
stuff.
for him. He's picking up pace each race.
Yeah. So, also, man, I'm gonna say this. I said it to the people that I was in a party with during quali, man. I kind of choked my sector 2 in quali just a little bit because I was so nervous, man. Yeah, my heart started pumping like crazy on that lap, man, because it felt like a really good lap up until that point, and I kind of choked there a little bit. I mean, I ended up I think I beat the pole time from last season.
Don't worry, Mystic. I got that covered on commentary. I literally said everything you've just said, including about second sector.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I'm glad you're on top of it, Jacko.
Thank you.
Man.
I'm just here to make jokes. But anywho, congratulations once again, Mystic. We'll see if you can continue that record-breaking run that you're on in Spa next week. But on to second place and first time in the party, Matt Rosie. Do you have your party share settings on so the stream can hear you?
I should. Let me just double check. I do.
You do? Okay. So it should be all good. But Matt Rosie, so first I'll kind of start it off with it being our first time ever really talking to you. Quickly, how did you kind of come across Midwest F1? I always like to ask that to people that I first come in contact with here.
Sure. Well, nice to meet you. Jack,
Yeah.
I'm already familiar with from before, but yeah. I believe it was either through Kaz or Nitwit that showed me originally, and then I came across as a reserve. I mean, I think I was in the Discord for a while during the last season, but I never actually joined. But it just looked like a lot of fun, and I wanted to challenge myself a little more, so I joined, reserved, and from there I was hooked. I love this league. It's definitely my favorite league I've ever been in.
Oh, okay.
Not
All right,
just
thanks,
saying
Matt
that.
Rosie. Enough for you, and then we'll go on to Mayor. I'm just kidding. Yeah. No, but tell us about your race. So, second place, pretty much through from start to finish. I mean, what went on with your Thursday night here to get you into second?
Yeah. Well, first of all, congrats to Mystic. He put on a hell of a show here. Guys, just too fast for me, and congrats to Mayomer as well for taking that last-minute podium there. It was a nice last couple laps from him. But for me, I mean, Mystic put in an insane lap for quali. I think he beat my best time I ever did, and he said he didn't even have that great of a lap. So I knew
you'll get used to that.
I knew from there second place is about as far up as I could go. And actually, at the beginning of the rain in the first few laps, I think I was catching him a little bit. I was making a few mistakes, and I had a little bit of hope. But then I made a bit of a mistake. I don't know if you guys caught it on the stream going into turn 4 and went really wide and picked up a couple warnings for that. And from there, I was like, you know what, I don't want to ruin my race. I haven't gotten a podium yet in D1. Let's just kind of hold it together. And then Mystic started taking off and beating his laps and getting more comfortable. So from there, I just knew P2 was about as high as I would go and hopefully as low as I would go. And it turned out pretty well in the end.
Yeah, I mean, you can't complain with a P2 on your first podium as well. So, what are you planning on doing to kind of continue that trend going into Spa? Do you find Spa to be one of your stronger tracks, or do you find it to be one of your weaker ones?
No, I'm pretty strong around Spa. Main thing is I just want to get my qualifying down and just my first few laps. My first couple races, I've either lost the race on the first couple laps or just sent it a little too hard in qualifying, trying to come on pole. I just want to be consistent. That's the main thing.
Yeah, well said. But I mean, yeah, Jacko, anything from you?
Well, just further congratulations from Matt. I'm obviously familiar with Matt from elsewhere, but I was surprised it took only three races to get on the podium. But you're here now, and I think that's just opened the floodgates, and we'll look forward to speaking to you many weeks in the future at this stage.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
I'm here. Sorry, I'm trying to type as well. But yeah, once again, congratulations to you, Matt. I'm sure we'll be seeing you back up into the booth after a couple of these races in the future. But anywho, on to Maomir. You kind of brought back the excitement of the race. Actually, sorry, Maomir, give me 1 second. I need to shout out the podiums. I kept forgetting. I asked Jacko if I should, and I said, oh, I'll do it, then I forgot. So, anywho, shout out to Will Ans, El Capitano, 2019, and Forza Juve for their podium in Division 2, and I'll do Division 3 after this. But anywho, Maomir, exciting final couple laps there. I was watching the whole way through, and I had a feeling that you were going to be able to do it. Jacko doubted me, and Jacko doubted you. He didn't think that you had the ability to get it done, and I said, Jacko, I said, hey, I'm talking. I said, Jacko, piss off. He's going to do it. And you did it, Maomir, and I'm happy that you proved me right, and I'm happy that you got another podium. But anywho, why don't you tell us?
That's recorded.
Yeah. why don't you tell us kind of your thought as you kind of started that 3-lap venture back into third place? Maomir, supposedly we can't hear you on stream. Are you sure you got your? You got to make sure you got your share on. Okay. Sorry to cut you off. You're on a roll there too. I feel bad, but yeah, we got to make sure the guys can hear you. Well, okay, I brought Pork Chops in for a different reason, but I guess I'll ask him about the Div 2 race, Pork, if you're listening. And what do we see here in Div 2, or what are we set to see when Hotspot uploads it to our YouTube page?
Dry qualifying, a wet start to the race, and then about halfway through it started to dry out. We started on inters, and then yeah.
And a podium from you.
I wish.
Oh, no. Sorry.
P5.
Yeah. Hey, there you go. Not too shabby. Hardest charger? Did you qualify 19th?
No, I was 13th, I believe.
Okay. All right. So you're getting better quality, so not too shabby. But Pork Chops, I think you kind of have an idea of what I've brought you in here for. So Yeah, so we'll get to that after we finish with Mailmere, but
so I managed to activate, the voice sharing. So let me know if it's okay on the stream.
Okay, Pork Chops, let us know. Okay, but quickly, let me just give a shout out to, I can't read that, I need to squint, but we got 2 Williams on the podiums for Division 3. Digital, Young DJ, and Fuzame. I can't, it's really blurry on mine. Who's your Williams drivers there, Mystic, for Div 3? Do you know?
I'm not sure for Div 3.
Oh, whatever. You got 1, 2 in the Williams there, so
people
should be A Wild, I believe.
People got shuffled around a little bit, I think, or one driver did.
Okay, but yeah. So anywho, Williams once again doing very well in the overall constructors championships. So good to those drivers. But anywho, Mailmere, take it away. Go through that whole spiel once again. Sorry, but yeah, let's hear it. It was a really good one too.
Yeah, those last 3 laps, I mean, well, first of all, yeah, again, congratulations to Mystic and Matt Rosie. I mean, they had one hell of a pace again, and it was going to be quite difficult, to jump all the way from P10 and try to fight for P2 or even P1. But yeah, there you go. Those 3 last laps were crazy. I didn't think I was going to be able to overtake Tiach. And in the end, I changed or I switched to softs, and in the last lap, especially that second DRS zone, I mean, that helped me a lot. I managed to overtake Tiach, and man, I couldn't believe it. It's third again, and I'm not sure what happened to Jinnit. I'm probably he spun. Not sure what happened. He had to pit again and change. Probably he had damages. That also helped. Unfortunate for him, of course. But yeah, again, the podium, I'm very lucky, man. I mean, I wasn't expecting to get a podium tonight because I had a terrible quality session. It was crazy. I was just letting cars through, and I invalidated my last lap and the next one as well. So that didn't give me a chance to set a new time. So, and I was very close to Mystic's pole time. So, I mean, that would have given me a better chance to fight for the second place. But yeah, there we go. That's about it.
Yeah, well said. Yeah, it was a solid race from you. Kind of, we were saying a little bit of a lackluster qualifying from what we would normally expected to see from you in the last couple of weeks, but you made up for it and then some in the race. So congratulations on your podio. Jacko, anything to say to Mayo?
Oh, just to say that another podium. It's fantastic to see this season. A 60% strike rate on the podium is obviously a massive improvement on last season with just the one. And yeah, I don't think I've seen anyone improve as much. So big props to Mayo for this one. And as I said last week, I'll talk to you in the interviews, and I have. So I'll say it again for next week. Why not?
Good confidence. He's trying to save it. You said what you said. Okay, Jacko.
Wow.
All good. Thanks, Jacko. I'll try to get more podiums. No worries.
There you go. But all right, on to the Div 4 podium. Once again, congratulations to you, Mayo. I'm sure we'll be talking to you as well in the near future. And to our Div 4 podiums, Hammer finishing first, Capital in second, and Dead Text Message in third. But now I've got Pork Chops here. So Pork Chops doesn't exactly know why I brought him in here, but he kind of knows because I brought it into our Midwest Planning Discord earlier. And so it was actually Stat who... and I mean, Pork Chops is just kind of in here to support this idea. He did like it, and so yeah, he's just kind of in here to support the idea and whatnot. But Stat brought up how there's a lot of people that are affected by that are affected by mental health, and so we want to do something in the near future here, and maybe kind of work into some sort of a raffle for the league. We've got some money saved up through our Twitch that we're going to kind of donate towards the cause and make some sort of prize pool to go to a random ticket winner from our league. And so kind of the early thought right now is that we're going to charge around $5 for a ticket. I don't know if we'll have a cap on how many tickets you can buy, but all of the ticket money will go to...
No cap.
No cap.
Bring in all the money. We don't
There you
care.
go. That's why Pork's here.
All the
Buy
money.
as many fucking tickets as you want. All right, all that money is going to go to mental health awareness, and we'll find some sort of charity for that to go to, and it'll be a little bit of something that this community can do for mental health. As you know, you're not human if it hasn't kind of affected you at some point in your life. So we'll decide on how we're going to do it, either through Venmo or PayPal or whatnot. I want to announce it, the ticket winner. I'm thinking in 2 weeks for Baku after the interviews. So hopefully we'll be able to get everything set up around the weekend, and we can start pumping out tickets and come to some sort of conclusion on what our prize pack is going to be. So be sure to stay tuned for some sort of news, and as well as a more elaborate and proper way of going about this. But that's just kind of what we've collected right now, and hopefully we can get as much support as we can from all the people in the league to try and raise as much money as possible. So that's just kind of what I wanted to say, and I'm glad that Pork Chops, you stepped in and say, yeah, fuck it, let's send this puppy to the moon. Let's do as much as we can, and we'll give away a kick-ass prize pack from our MidWest merch. That, of course, is brought to us by the company that Pork Chop and all those other fuckheads work for. So, so something to look forward to.
Says charity, like calling the people that print shit fuckheads.
Yeah, exactly that. But anywho, that was the announcement I wanted to get to. I kind of got to it a little bit earlier into the stream, but I just wanted the final approval and the agree and say of Pork Chops. So hence why I brought him in here. And it sounds like we're good to go. So I'll get to work on that, and we can do something for mental health awareness. But that is it for our Thursday night here. Anything left from the drivers to say?
Yeah, I mean, look forward to next week. I'm looking forward to fighting Matt and Mayo for the rest of the season as they keep improving, and it's going to be some crazy races coming up for sure.
100%. Couldn't agree more. Pork Chops, any final statement from you?
Just be sure to keep an eye out for the Div 2 race, and taxation is theft.
All right, thank you for that. Yeah, like I said kind of earlier, Hotspot sends it right up to YouTube, so go check that out if you want to see Div 2. But Jacko, final thoughts?
Well, a really random one. A lot of alliteration tonight. We've got M all over the place. We've got MidWest, we got McQueen, Majacko, and then the podium we've got Mayo, Matt, and Mystic.
And Pork Chops.
Yeah, but there's no M, so...
Yeah.
In Division 1, at least.
Yeah, that was... Whoa, hey, and then the slam to Pork.
Nah.
I'm just playing. Yeah, you're good.
Straight trash. Straight trash, homie.
I regret everything. No words from me, don't worry.
You're done? Alright. Sounds good, but yeah, like I said, that's it for us here tonight in the Midwest F1 League. That's it for us here in the week, but if you like what you see, be sure to go check us out on YouTube, as well as follow us on our other two social media platforms, that being Twitter and as well as Instagram. We kind of got a little bit of a team going there, so we'll try and pump out more content and make it as good as we possibly can. But, like I said earlier, hopefully we can get that news for you and a proper way of how we're going to approach that mental awareness charity drive, I guess, as well as possible, and do exactly, or as much as we can. But that's for another day. I've been Crash McQueen. I've been joined once again by my good friend now, Elma Jacko. We've been the Midwest F1 League, and we will hopefully be seeing you very soon. All right, guys, we're off.